Alright, in this video I'm just gonna share some thoughts with you guys. And I want you guys to do a little thought experiment with me. I want you to imagine, if you were God, what would you do? If you had infinite power, infinite knowledge, infinite time, you're living forever, what would you do? And from our Judeo-Christian culture, I think we have this image of God being a creator, like a builder. He built the world. He created the world. He designed the world. And we also have this image of God being like this guy who kind of just like floating, like maybe just like an orb of light around him, and he kind of just doesn't do anything. He just almost has like a meditating image of God floating around, just watching over his creation. But doesn't that sound really boring? That's all God does for infinity, for endless time, just look over his creation. I think God would be extremely boring if he did that. He'd be extremely bored. And let's take a look at like another type of creator. Someone else who creates something. Think like video games, like Nintendo, Mario. I think the guy who invented Mario and Nintendo, his name is Shigeru Miyamoto. Now, do you think Shigeru Miyamoto, that's a pretty cool name, do you think he just invented, he created Mario, he designed Mario, he created the Nintendo? Do you think he just created the game and designed it, and then just let it be? And other things would play this game and he'd kind of just watch? Or do you think Shigeru Miyamoto, after creating and designing the game, he actually put the game in the Nintendo, powered it up, and played his own game, played his own creation? What's happening in this video is, and just play with me here, these are just thoughts, is, God created life, and then God decided to play life. God just isn't the creator, but he's the player. God created the video game, now he's playing the video game, and that you are actually secretly God. And what this video is me, also God, being in the middle of the play, coming out as one of the actors and being like, oh, by the way, I'm God, and you're God too. It's like you're so engaged in your life right now. You're so engaged in what's happening, what's real, the story of your life. And it's kind of like after a movie ends, when you're at the movie, and then it's like normal life, that was over. It's like what this video, I want this sensation to give you is like, boom, you're like a little shock of waking up. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm actually God playing my own game right now. If God was all powerful, he would have the ability to completely take himself in, to completely engage himself. To the point where he even forgets that he is God. And if God had an infinite amount of time to do an infinite amount of adventures, that sounds like the best thing he could do. If Mario knew he was actually the player, like imagine actually being Mario and jumping around, saving Princess Peach. Do you think Mario would, it'd be a lot more fun if you could actually be Mario and actually do it, rather than playing with the controllers. And what life is us actually being Mario. So then once you think about this, okay, I am God, I have an infinite amount of adventures I could be doing with myself. Or I could actually believe that I actually am Mario. I could restrict my own power and actually go through this adventure. Because if I did have perfect knowledge, there'd be no fun in it. If I did have perfect power, there'd be no fun in it. So I actually want to restrict my power and play the game. What would you do? What's the game that you would be playing? And you would think of something very different than real, objective scientific life. You'd think of something more like a fairy tale, or like a video game. And I want you to imagine, is that actually what's happening right now? That you've actually tricked yourself into thinking you're this real person, that you're actually Luke Eilers, or whatever your name is, and that you popped out of this world out of nowhere and you're going to die one day, and it's just this chaotic world from the evolution of Big Bang. Do you really think that's what's going on? Are you that taken in by the acting that you're doing on yourself right now? And it's perfectly okay to think that. That's actually exactly what you want to think. But at a certain point in this game that you're playing, a really fun thrill is realizing that you actually are God. There's nothing outside of God. And if you think you're outside of God, that's just silly. Who else could you be? who do you really think you are? Who else could you be? You're playing hide and go seek with yourself, and it's actually extremely comical once you realize it. So once you realize you're God, of the infinite amount of adventures that you could be living, that you could be playing, you decide to play this one. So this must be a really good adventure you're about to be on. This is just the beginning. It's actually you actually are Neo waking up from the Matrix right now. It's happening. And do you think like if that actually was how it would be, do you think it would actually be like the religion of all people? Do you think there would actually be like a Bible explaining that? That'd spoil the fun. Or would it actually be the person telling you this, would it be like new information happening however old you are? And it was actually the guy who's like the no-fap guru, the guy who tried to not jag off for 90 days, and that's what I'm big for. That'd be kind of silly if that was the guy telling you that you actually were God. The thing is, the more you realize that you're God, the more you just start trusting life. And you start to see that almost, you start to see the illusion that everything is. And you start to, you realize that you're Mario, and you start to trust the game, and you play the game, and you really start to, you like to get surprised by the game. And it's like God sneaking up behind himself and saying, boo. That's what's actually going on. So now that you know that you're just Mario, you're actually the player playing Mario, and that player is God.